Hello everyone! This is Remleiz from 40k Theories.
And this is an Arena from 40k Theories.
And welcome to the September 2025 edition of the Patreon Q&A sessions.
As always, if you'd like your questions answered, then click the link in the video description below and help support the channel by becoming a patron.
Now, let's jump into the questions.
Caiaphas Crane asks, in Dawn of Fire, the Silent King, it was stated that Guilliman is still stuck in his armor of fate, but before this book even came out, I don't know where it is stated, it was said he removed it and it did cause him pain, but he could survive without it on. Is this an author error or different timelines?
So in Gathering Storm 3, Ivrain told Guilliman that if he ever took off the armor of fate, he would die. But in Dark Imperium, there are scenes with him like outside of his armor, like, wearing just regular robes and that. Now, I first thought this might have been a mistake on Guy Haley's part because, let's be honest, I think this book might have been written like concurrently with the Gathering Storm 3 supplement, so to be fair, he may not have known that particular detail regarding the Armor of Fate, but he did write a short story called Armor of Fate to address this plot hole, so I think he was aware of it, but in regards to Dawn of Fire, the Dark Imperium series was retconned to take place after Dawn of Fire, so the events of Silent King took place before the short story Armor of Fate, in where Guilliman learned that he can actually take off the armor, which then leads into Dark Imperium proper. That's if I had to guess anyway, that's my guess. I mean, I could be wrong, but yeah, it seems to make sense that it goes Dawn of Fire, Armor of Fate short story, and then Dark Imperium the series.
On the note of author errors, what is your most hated or vexing error you read that contradicted something from older lore?
I'll tell you one that does really annoy me, and that's from Devastation of Baal, in where Guy Haley had an Angel Sanguine walking around casually without a helmet, despite the fact that it's been established all the way back since 2nd edition, all the way through every single Blood Angels Codex and the James Swallow Blood Angel novels, that the Angels Sanguine do not show their faces to anyone outside of their chapter for any reason. Even to the point where Centichan, the chapter master, he threatened to kill Mephiston and Corbulo over it. Granted he wouldn't have had a chance against Mephiston, let's be bloody honest here, but the fact he was willing to go toe-to-toe with Mephiston over it is important, and Guy Haley just has one in Devastation of Baal, just walking around casually, he's like, hey guys, how's it going? I'm an Angel Sanguine. It's like, no you're fucking not, sit the fuck down.
In the most recent escape of Cypher from the Dark Cells, what else escaped that is truly, quote-unquote, oh by the throne, no, that could probably spell doom for the Imperium of Man? And could Subject 11 that also escaped possibly be one of the lost Primarchs, like some online speculate?
I don't think it's ever been explicitly stated what actually escaped from the Dark Cells, because we don't actually know for certain what's in them to begin with. It's very vague, just ancient horrors from before the founding of the Imperium and that kind of thing, so it's hard to say what escaped when we don't even know what was there to begin with. As for Subject 11, we did touch upon it briefly in our Fall of the 11th Legion video, so if you haven't seen that yet, I'll put a link in the top right corner for you so you can check it out.
Sigmonite asks, how is Malkador not affected by the presence of a blank?
Well, he was. It's just that he was such a powerful psyker, he was, far better at maintaining his composure around blanks. For Malkador, being around a blank was akin to having a pebble in your shoe. It's uncomfortable, yeah, but you can deal with it, that kind of thing. Because remember that Malkador was the second most powerful psyker in humanity's history. Not counting transhumans like Magnus the Red. Just pure baseline humans, Malkador was number 2. So even though he was better at maintaining his composure, he was definitely affected by blanks.
If it were up to you, what would be the reason on how the Ethereals know of Chaos and control other Tau?
Honestly, I think the simplest solution would be to make the Ethereal Psykers, just ones that are better at hiding their, influence and potential and that kind of thing. I think it would be easiest, to be honest. Fuck the pheromone thing because, yeah, I don't like that personally. I get why people like it, because, the whole supposed core connection, even though, there is actually no... It's all superficial similarities at best, let's be honest, but I'm rambling here. My reason would be psychic bullshit.
Is it possible for any of the Primarch loyalists who have not yet returned to become renegade? Not in the same sense of they have fallen to chaos, but as in I'm still loyal to the Emperor and I will serve him my way.
You know, I think that could actually be like, an interesting wrinkle, so to speak, like, for lack of a better term, a Black Shield Primarch. That could be a very good, story to take someone in. Maybe someone like Jagatai Khan, make him like, the Renegade Primarch, not Renegades and Traitor Primarch, but just like, the Renegade Biker type Primarch. Kind of like that Hammerfall song, Renegade, Renegade, such a banger song that. But anyway, it's possible, but knowing Games Workshop, they'll never go down that road, sadly.
Dragon of Elder asks, do you think Cetra, Imperishable, could return in Age of Sigmar? Maybe a good aligned Death Leader, or even a rival to Nagash?
I doubt it purely on the basis that Nagash would never let Cetra get resurrected in any capacity unless he had total control over him, because Nagash and Cetra hate each other. So, I find it incredibly unlikely. Yes, I know of Cetrus and the Imperishable Storm Host, but David Gaiman himself has said that's not Cetra. He wanted it to be Cetra, but Games Workshop said fuck off. So, yeah, long story short, no.
In the same theme, what other fantasy characters should return in AOS?
This is probably cheating somewhat, but Gracia Thankwall. I know he's already present in the lore, but on tabletop. Bring Thankwall back and, give him a major role. You could have him meet back up with Gotrek, because Gotrek and Thankwall used to kick the shit out of each other all the time, didn't they? So that could be a good story. Having the return of Thankwall and, Gotrek, rekindling that rivalry, that kind of thing. I think that could be really cool. Yes, again, I know Thankwall's already present in the lore, but he hasn't done anything as far as I'm aware, so give him something to do.
If your Inquisitor character was in AOS, what job/position would he have? Also, I'm curious, as in Nerina is adding to this question, if you had a job or position, Remleiz, what would I be?
I don't know what jobs are even available in Age of Sigmar, so if I had to guess, probably just the closest equivalent to a 40k Inquisitor, a Witch Hunter. And that concludes this edition of the Patreon Q&A sessions.
As always, if you would like your questions answered, then click the link in the video description below and help support the channel by becoming a patron.
Until next time, this has been Remleiz from 40k Theories.
And this is Narina from 40k Theories.
And we'll see you again soon. Bye bye!